She's got sillies in there. Morning, Palin. How's it going? Look at those little noses. Wondering what's happening. Good morning, Hansen. Morning, Tried to Bush. How's it going? Good morning, Ravine. Fifi's just had she's just had a big wave of zoomies and binkies. Hello. Good morning, Jivo. Morning, Minion and Max. Hansen, thank you very much. Oh my gosh, 61 months. We're in our 60s. Want to play bridge? Okay. I was thinking about bridge the other day because morning, Cal. Good morning, Rob. Morning, Nightsham. Good morning, Mazaira. When I was on our honeymoon, Alex and I would be playing, because we went on a cruise, and Alex and I would be playing Magic the Gathering in the library, and then we would always get kicked out by the bridge club. the bad kids of the bridge club coming and bullying us out. Morning, Mazaira. Good morning, Asenta, and Rob and Guy. We have a holiday today, and I finally have time to catch the bun stream again. Nice. I hope you have a lovely holiday. I took my holiday day yesterday. Took my little day off, which I'm glad I did. It made yesterday a lot more relaxed because I got up in the morning and did bun stream, and then did no. I got up and I edited for a couple of hours. Then I did bun stream. Then I recorded Comfort Zone, and then I just edited for the rest of the day, and it just made it like a lot more relaxed than if I had done the afternoon stream. Although I did finish one of the edits, the one that was actually for today, a lot earlier than I thought I would, because it turned out that like the second half of the recording was actually, I cut out most of it. But you never know that when you're going in, sort of thing. I've often thought the best way to do editing would be to like watch through the entire thing first, but that's obviously like a luxury of time. But yeah, it was nice just getting it done, not having to worry, and starting on Tuesday's work as well. Got an early start. Holly, thank you very much for the 13 months. Good morning. Yay, it's fun time. How you doing? How's it going? That's not a day. Well, I guess a streaming day off, apart from the stream I did. But other than that, it was a day off, right? Good morning, Monday. Further, a lot of East Asian places have what is called floor culture, where people do a lot of things, including eating and sleeping while seated on the floor. Well, you would think that, but yesterday I came downstairs, having done the editing, and Gerry was upon the top of the hay tower, the hay arch. I've never seen him up there before, so I don't know. I think they've got a sense of new heights in them. King of the castle, yes, king of the castle. But generally, yes, bunnies are very much like you go to them sort of thing. Whereas obviously if you're like sat on a sofa, a dog or a cat will generally jump up to you. Bunnies usually like to you go to meet them on their terms. So maybe. Oh my gosh. Bunnies, do you want your pellets? He's a little mountaineer, he is. Good morning, Talia. Oh, Connor, I'm sorry to hear you have a cold. I hope you feel better soon. I hope it's not a big stinky one. And good morning, Kai. With nonsensical financial bureaucracy. Those are big words for the morning. Good morning, Sarah. Right, let me get you your pellets, my little angles. Fifi, I almost dropped those right on your head. Did that the other day with their fibre pellets. I went to give them a handful of them, and Fifi just zoomed out. I got absolutely covered in it's near the end of the pot, so it's quite dusty, and she just got this little, just a misty shower of fibre pellets. Come on in, David. I feel really tired today, and I don't really know why. I think it's one of those things that, when the rug does have a funny design. There's a bunny and there's butterflies. The bunny is looking at butterflies. Come on in, Duncan. When you have like a day where you relax a bit more, and yet it like tires you out more than a day where you've done lots, because I guess you've stopped and you're like, I guess I've had one of those weeks that's been a bit more stuff going on than normal. And it's I woke up this morning when my alarm went off, and then I just like looked at the time and I was like, 5 more minutes, and then it was one of those like 2 hours later. Had an accidental lie-in, but as my mum would always say, I must have needed it. Or bed is just cozy, because bed is cozy. Too much Dota. No, I only did one. Literally all of my DMs with Grammy right now are me just being like, Dota, Dota, Dota. Guess butterflies aren't very vegan, but they're worse with hamsters. Wait, in what sense? Oh, what, looking after butterflies? Do butterflies? Good morning, exec. I don't know what butterflies eat. They eat pollen. Oh, the name. Oh, I see. Oh my gosh. No, okay. You're 3 steps ahead of me this morning. I did not. No, that's a good point. That is a good point. I was just like, why? What do butterflies eat? I understand now. I'm with you. I just had this sudden feeling of like, all this time I've thought the butterflies just eat from flowers, but maybe they're carnivorous, and I've just never known. Every time you see those beautiful videos of butterflies landing on people's hands, they're actually there for a cheeky nibble. Well, yes. I think I'm very much Friday brain today. Good morning, potato. I am being called out about my my daughters, but it's a good team bonding exercise between Grammy and I. Just, oh, Gerry, look at that little tail wag. He was so angry. Oh, poor little boy. He started doing that more and more the older he gets. I never used to notice him flicking his tail like that. Whereas now he does it so much. It's like he never used to grunt, and now he grunts so much. He's just, oh, he is my grumpy boy. Oh, and she's my long girl. You long? You a long lady? Come out, he shall. He has. Old man flicks tail at cloud. Maybe that's why I love Gerry so much. Oh, you feel an affinity with him. There are carnival butterflies. The one that scares me is Bambi doesn't scare me. Bambi, thank you very much for the 9 months. Woo, Friday buns. The one that terrifies me is Bambi. What's the deal with Bambi? No, the one that scares me is there's a type of Malaysian like cricket. Is it a cricket? I can't remember the name of them. It's like a Malaysian something, and they are basically, imagine a cricket, but it's like the size of like a small bunny. Like they can stand on like people's hands, and those I'm pretty sure are carnivorous. And there's just something very like alien about them. Well, the size of like a baby bunny, like a dwarf bunny, not a we are talking about scary bugs. I saw this funny thing yesterday, this TikTok popped up where someone was doing coding, and then they were like, I've heard that bugs are attracted to the light, and then they turn their like coding program to dark mode. I was like, nice. Come on in, Dave. Oh, not Fifi size. I think like, okay, imagine this much of Fifi, like a bug that is like from Fifi's nose down to here, like that, but a tiny, like what we think of as being like this big, these tiny little crickets. They're so big. So big. Morning, honey. Is when you look back at like dinosaur times, I say dinosaur times as if it wasn't spanning for millions and millions of years. But you know, that one time when dinosaurs existed all at the same time. And you see the insects from back then, and you're just like, you know, dragonflies that have these like, you know, meter-long wingspans, and I'm just like, nope, nope, none of that, nope, 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 nope. There's just something about bugs that's, because if you get like a big whale, I'm like, okay, that's fair dues. Whales, you know, you've earned it. If you get like big cats, that sort of stuff, you're like, okay. Whereas there's something about it being insects that is just like, no. Like a deep down tummy no. That you're just, no. Good morning, Steve. Whereas things that are big, they're meant to be big, that are tiny, very cute. Doll's house furniture, very cute. It just doesn't go, it goes one way, it doesn't go the other way. Baby elephants, very cute. But yes, I have been looking at Doll's house furniture again. It does occupy my mind. I've forgotten how we got onto this. I don't know. Oh, carnivorous butterflies. Yeah. It's like that Reddit comment. There was like I can't remember what the subreddit was, but it was a post where someone said, can you imagine how much more terrifying horses would be if they were carnivores? I think there's something unsettling about horses anyway. I mean, I love horses, but there is just something a bit, They're basically like the hares to donkeys, rabbits, if that makes sense. Like, both rabbits and hares are very cute, but there's something that hares have seen that they're not talking about, and I feel that same way about horses. They know things. Elephants are very upsetting. I love elephants. I mean, I would never want to have an elephant like run at me because That's terrifying. But donkeys are more the hares. See, I think of donkeys as being horse bunnies. Because they're just so goofy. Donkeys, I feel like Fifi could do well as a donkey. I feel like she'd cause a lot of crime and mischief if she was a donkey. Would open up doors for her in the criminal world. Wouldn't it, Fifi? Wouldn't be a horse girl if you were rich. No, well, no, horses are a funny one. Because so I don't really not believe, that's not the word, because I know it happens. I've done it before, but I don't really like horse riding as a thing. So I love horses. I would happily support like a horse sanctuary where they just get to be goofy guys for all the rest of their days. But I don't really, like when I worked at the vet, so many people owned horses. And we would start at like 7 a.m. and they would have already been up since like 4:30 because they would have to go and tend to their horses and all of this stuff. Morning, Seraphic. Good morning, Cosmic. But yeah, it's just, I just find it very odd. I guess because, a lot of people think that bunnies should be in gardens. And to me, that's like so, I would feel so separated from them if, oh, look at those stretchy toes. Like I wouldn't see Fifi's stretchy toes every day if I didn't live in the same house as them. So to have horses that live in like a completely different county, a completely different postcode, that would just be, I don't know, that would just be so weird. I don't understand. But then, different strokes for different folks. That's some people's, their love language is a horse. That's fine. But yeah, I think this is the thing. It's like, bunnies aren't suitable for everyone. Neither are dogs or cats. Everyone's got their own ways of loving their companions, and yeah, for some people that's to live in a very different place and see them very briefly in the morning. I know some couples like that, so maybe it's fine. Oh yeah, if I had like a massive like country cottage and I could just have like a cheeky little goat that would occasionally appear indoors, and I'd be like, Reginald, what are you doing in here? But secretly being like, it's okay, you can steal all the apples off the counter. But yeah, I would be happy with that. I do love goats and sheeps and donkeys and oh my gosh, I'd love to have chickens. I would absolutely love to have chickens. I once saw a horse outside a building past a fence, and me and my friend were like, oh my god, a horse, and then did a double take, and they were like, wait, is it supposed to be there? It's just hanging out. Because I grew up in like a really tiny town, and actually it's not that big a town. I mean it's not that small a town. It's bigger than I think it is sometimes. I forget how much it's like extended now. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, I grew up next to the woods in this town, and the excitement you would feel when you would hear the distant sounds of clip-cloppy hooves and you knew that horses were going to go by. Because not much happened where I am from. You don't really get cars going by. You so that was a bit of excitement. Once a year, there was a pheasant that used to walk past the house. That was like the highlight of summer. But when you heard hooves, oh my gosh. You would rush to the windows, you would open your door, you'd stand out in the street and watch the horses go by. It was very exciting. Alex, my love, good morning. But yeah, you'd hear it like so far in the distance, and because they would all go into, we had a lot of like bridle paths in the woods, which for those who don't know is the name of horse routes in woods. I don't know why. The Hunces are here. Jebediah, gather the children. The Hunces have arrived. We would all gather together and watch them go by. It was very lovely. Go for rain. Oh. But yeah, it is actually like a town. I was trying to explain to, was it Alistair the other day, because so I'm from a place called Welwyn Garden City, which isn't a city, it's a garden city, so it's a town, which is confusing enough already. But he was saying I was from Welwyn, and I'm like, no, I'm not fancy enough for Welwyn, because Welwyn Village, Old Welwyn, is a separate place. But then there's Welwyn North, which is a train station, which is to the east. Just because confusion all round. We just have 3 different places, none of which are connected and none of which are actually the same place, but we just all have the same name. Just because, why not? But yeah, like, Old Welwyn is the fancy part. That's the part with, like, history and Roman baths and that sort of stuff. Or it is sometimes called Welwyn Village, because that is a village. That is a tinier place. But then my tiny place is a slightly bigger, tinier place that is a town, but still not a city, despite having it in the name, confusingly enough. It is the opposite of Welwyn Garden standee. And Welwyn Garden running around. But yeah, I guess it is sort of fancy. But I feel like when you're in Hertfordshire, your idea of what is fancy is slightly skewed, because you do have places like Old Welwyn and St Albans and the like genuinely fancy places. So it doesn't feel fancy. But I guess it is fancier than other places. Naming no names. But yeah. Would I ever want to move back there? I always imagined that I would. I always imagined that I would live my life as a turtle and that I would go away for a bit and then I would come back to lay my eggs in Hertfordshire. But the longer I stay in Bristol, the less likely I feel like I'm ever to move back to Hertfordshire. Yeah, because I've been in like 10 years now. And I do miss family, but other than that, like, it's nice to go back to. It feels so weird going back to my hometown, because it's got such, like, strange architecture. It is very spenny. I got priced out. It was, I miss Simmons Bakery. I've not been to a Simmons Bakery in years, and I don't think they do anything. I've never checked to see if they do anything vegan, because I've not been in there since being vegan. But, so, for non-Hertfordshire people, Simmons is a bakery that's only in Hertfordshire, which I didn't know until I moved to Kent for a couple of years and mentioned it, and everyone was just like, what? What's a Simmons? I thought it was literally like a Greggs, because there was like one everywhere I went, there would always be a Simmons. But it turns out I only went to places in Hertfordshire. But yeah, they used to do this cheese and bean pasty that I would get in my ne'er-do-well days where I'd be hanging out in town, and I recreate it now instead of getting the Simmons one. I just make. Oh, sorry, Talia. I was trying to persuade them the other day to do a video, a members video on for Yogscast of doing an Easter egg hunt in the office. Like, in quotes, I said, like in Stardew or in real life, I guess people do that. But mostly as a Stardew reference. Hello. Hello. Hanging out, eating pasties, being a menace. Yeah, I would. Well, it was either like pasties or there used to be one of those like awful greasy pizza places where pizza was like you'd have your little pizza box and by the end of it parts of it were going see-through. It was so greasy. I forgot what it's called. Fifi, because Gerry's on the toilet, so in case you're wondering as to why we have this weird weird setup with an extra floor to the litter tray, this is why. Fifi is demonstrating well. If Gerry's on the toilet and she wants to be, she wheezes in the little corner next to it. So I've started just putting down like a handful of litter there every day, because then she just wheezes on that and doesn't just wheel all over the floor. Good morning, Cal. But it doesn't make for a very aesthetic litter tray. But thank you, Fifi. Very good. Oh, and now he's finished anyway. Now you've finished anyway. Do you also have different words for the same type of bread buns in different regions? Oh my gosh, that is a whole war there. It's like, okay, so you get like a bread roll, but to some people it's a bap, to some it's a cob, to some it's I can't even think of any of the other names, but yeah, there's a whole argument that constantly goes on. Wider spread than the German cream argument with cream teas. But yeah, balm cake, it just keeps going. To me, where I'm from, if it's soft, it's a roll. If it's crusty, if it's crusty, it's a roll. If it's soft, it's a bap. But I did say German cream. If anyone missed the fun stream yesterday, there is an interview with Timothée Chamolet, who he kept on mishearing jam and cream on a cream tea as German cream. And he kept on asking what German cream was. So yes, I've decided to just start saying German cream. We call bread buns shrimp here, and everyone looks at you like an alien if you say that somewhere else. Ah, see, from Hertfordshire, there isn't really any local dialect, I would say. There isn't really anything that's very specific to Hertfordshire. The only thing I've heard of is, but even then it's not limited to Hertfordshire, because I know other people say it, I just know that other people don't say it, is if someone falls over, you say that they stacked it. Whereas to everyone else, that's just placing one thing on top of the other. But that used to be, I don't know, I think it might be a London thing as well. Isn't known when bunnies were first domesticated to be pets, but its effect on humanity wouldn't be topped until the release of the unrelated 89 release of the Belgian techno Pump Up the Jam. Well, there you go. There you go. Ozzy stacked it in that way too. Just so many times, if you heard that in the playground of like someone falling over, and then someone would always be like, "Oi, mate, he stacked it." That is the beautiful Hertfordshire accent there. It's wonderful. It's a very musical accent. But yeah. But yes, Fifi is on the sofa, and I'm trying to listen out for if she wants to do crimes. Crimes and crimes. Chicken, thank you very much for the prime. Thank you. Oh yeah, there's so much. There is so, like, if you have a search for like a woodlouse map of the UK. Oh, hang on, the woodlice are here. BRB. Hello. Hello. Don't set Gerry bum on fire. His bum's lovely. He's a lovely little guy. Hello. Hello, what are you doing? You got them sillies in there. You know it's banana day, don't you? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. What's the saying? Yes, we've got wood lice. I've heard of like the what did the woodlouse want? They were like, you better pronounce the names of us right, otherwise we'd send Big Bill round. Or a Big Bill, I can't remember. But the one that I've started using, and I'll tell you what, it's Trot's fault, because all of the Trots call them Billy Bakers. And I found that so charming that I now call them Billy Baker, because it started as like a joke where I'd see one and just be like, "Hello, Billy." And now it's just become a natural thing to think of them as being called Billy Baker. So that must be a I don't know. I mean, it must be somewhere down his way in the... Well, I guess Talia. Have you ever heard Billy Baker? If Talia's still here, because I guess you're sort of the same direction as Trot. Pillbug? That's what they say in Animal Crossing. It's pillbugs. Nope. Other than that, I just generally called them woodlice. I bloody love woodlice, but I dread to think of the terrible fate that I caused woodlice to have as a child, because I used to have these tiny trucks and a sand pit, and I would spend ages making like a racetrack in the sand pit, and then I would get the tiny trucks, and then I would, for some reason, run around the garden and find a woodlouse for each truck, and I would put them in the truck, and then I would race them all around. But then I would obviously, as a child, just be like, "Oh, dinner time, okay, bye." And I would just abandon them in the sandpit. And I hope they got out. They can climb, right? This poor little... I mean, I never found them in the trucks the next day. So I guess they got out. They drove away. Oh no. They had their mum come pick them up. Chuggy pigs, yeah, roly-polies. There are so many names for them, honestly. Wasn't there one that's called like granny cheeses or something really weird? Good morning, Poke. How you doing? There's woodlice at 30 years old now. I don't know what it was about woodlice that I just thought they want to drive. They've got to drive. Something about them. They, yeah, a strange habit. But yes, I don't know. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that, apart from, I think I've said this before, where I'm from, apparently this is a very local thing because I've talked to other people from Hertfordshire and they don't say this. But I know that in a lot of times you drop the word to and you just say directly where you're going. So we would always say like, I'm going town, I'm going London, I'm going Stevenage. Like you don't say I'm going to here. You just say go in Bristol. And then you get like the opposite in Bristol where they add to on the end of sentences. So instead of saying where is it, they're like, where is it to? And you're just like, oh, where's it to what? Yeah. It's the same in my dad's area. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's just various places that seem to drop it. But because I'm a lazy youth, that's fair use. Going up mill. But it's an odd, well, I guess I'm trying to think if I know anyone who is just like purely from Hertfordshire. But I don't know if I do. I think everyone I know had like, their parents were from somewhere else or they were from somewhere else and moved there sort of thing. So it's difficult to pinpoint. Because this is the thing, obviously, with coming from a town like Welwyn Garden was founded in 1920. So for it to actually be built and then to, it was basically built as a town for people to move away from London and to move to from other places. So you don't really get this like, born and bred generations there. Because it's just not been around long enough to have that sort of like history. It's very often people move there, my parents' generation moved there and that's like the first of the people to have settled. So it's only people like me who are the first people to be, well, not the first people, there's, other people there, but first to be like born there. Whereas obviously you get places, Yorkshire, those sorts of places where the towns there, people have been there for ages. So, yeah, you don't really have like, my parents had, the house I'm in now is older than my hometown. It does give you like a weird sense of, because this is like what's got me so into folklore recently, is just suddenly realizing like places in the UK have such rich history, whereas I never think of, because I grew up in a place that doesn't have any history really. So I never really thought of like, I thought history was something that sort of happened elsewhere. Morning, Mike. Like, this is why I read up about like ancient Greece, because I'm like, that's history. And then part of me suddenly goes like, oh, I guess England sort of existed then. People lived here. I just didn't really think about it. So yeah, I've been trying to do some catching up on the stuff what went on more locally. When my town was but a twinkle in Ebenezer Howard's eye, the man what done founded it. I grew up in one of the oldest towns in the country, so I had the opposite experience. See, the only sort of like folklore, and it's not even folklore, it's just something that happened in like the 70s, or 70s, is that there was a lord, the local lord of my town, buried his cars for insurance fraud. He had all these like fancy sports cars and he buried them on the grounds and tried to claim the insurance for them and then went to prison. But that's such recent history. That's like the one tale from my town. And that's so recent that the guy literally went on like I'm a Celebrity a few years ago. So it's not it's not really historical. Come on in, Swan. But that's the only thing I can think of that's like a tale from before I was born. So yeah, it's nice, like, you know, being in Bristol and having this sense of like things happened here. And it has its folklore, and it, you know, there's the Bristol hum and all of this weird stuff, and the giants and the caves, and there's just a bit more to it than my tiny little town. But it's yeah, still a nice place. Town I grew up in is pretty young as well. It was only founded after the war to help overpopulation in Glasgow. See, I guess that's sort of like with Welwyn Garden, it was sort of made as a green space for people to move to from London after, like, well, I guess it would have been after like the First World War, just to have a nicer place for people to move to. So yeah, it was just it is very green. It feels very strange to go home to, because there's like, you know, when you see places, you know, when you see like American films that have these like American streets and the pavements are huge, and the front, they've all got front gardens, and it's all that sort of like, it feels very flat and very spacious. That's what my town is like. You're not allowed to, there's like restrictions on how tall buildings can be. There's restrictions on like pavements and verges and front gardens. There's like windows that are specific specific windows that you have to keep the style of, because that means that your house was designed by a particular town founder and stuff like this. It's like it's all very uniform and very planned. So to then move from there to a place like Bristol, where it's like, well, we used to have houses here, but then they got bombed, so we built different style of houses here, and you've got like a house that, you know, looks like it's from Shakespearean times next to a modern bungalow, next to a 70s house, next to it, you know, it's just, so that felt very strange to move out to, when I'm very much used to all of these streets, the houses look the same, and it's all very planned and designed. It's very odd. Very odd. So now, because I'm used to Bristol, I'll go home and I'll just be like, oh, I'm from somewhere fancy looking. But yeah, it is a very sweet little place. Not that any of you will ever go, because there's no reason to and nothing to do there. Just charity shops and estate agents and cafes and a big roundabout that isn't round. Just a place to exist. Yes. Lovely woods. And the occasional horse. The occasional haunts. Maybe I will. Maybe you can do the tour. Go try Simmons, yeah. We got a fountain. There's like a big fountain in the middle of town that they dye pink every year to help raise money for Breast Cancer UK. Sometimes students will fill it with washing up liquid, and then the town fills with bubbles. That's exciting when that happens. You could see the pheasants, yeah. Well, you're more likely to see the pheasants if you go out to the Ayots. If you go through the woods in Welwyn Garden, you get to like Ayot Green and all of the Ayots, and that's where the pheasants hang out mostly. There's a statue holding a fish. He stands outside the chip shop. Is there a well in Welwyn Garden? Do you know what? I don't think there is. I have no idea why Welwyn is called Welwyn. But But yeah, you could go and stand outside the Sainsbury's. That's what I used to do when I was a teenager, when phones only had 2 ringtones and the space for 5 text messages. We used to hang outside there. Yep, that's about it. That's about it. Oh, Gerry, it's 10:02. Do you want your banana? I'm just going to visit the UK to focus on national parks. Yeah. Yeah, there's not really anything like that in Hertfordshire to see, I don't think. Is there any... There's not really what you would call like big green spaces. There's lots of lovely spaces, but there's not really anything like that to go and see. It's not the likes of the Lake District, obviously. You ever buy ringtones out of a magazine? No, but my my very sort of first-ish boyfriend took me to see a play when I was about 16 at the Globe Theatre, the historical home of Shakespeare, Globe Theatre, and I felt so cultured. And then when we got there, we were sat down, because we even got the fancy seats where you get to sit, and he was like, oh, look what I bought today. And he showed me his like Nokia 3210 or whatever. And he had bought a background from Kerrang magazine that was just boobs. And it sort of ruined the experience for me, I'll be honest, of feeling cultured. It took away from the Shakespeare somewhat. But yeah. But I never bought any of those sorts of things. I never bought ringtones. I still remember like my very first ringtone that I had on my like first phone. It's so like those things stick with you. They were so slow and so like dooty. Doot 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 doot. Shakespeare wouldn't shy away from boobs. That's because everyone was played by men. He didn't have to worry. The boobs were played by men. Okay, banana time. Doot 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 doot. Banana time. Doot 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 doot. Oh, I used to borrow my mum's Nokia to play Snake when we were on holiday. I was literally the kid that was like, does your phone have games on it? It does, and it's Snake, and I want to play. Okay, because Gerry's tummy has been a wee bit funny, I've only done like a tiny nana slice each today. Tiny nana, thank you. Sorry, Fifi licked my finger. It tickled. It tickled. It tickled. His poops. He did another bad poop yesterday. And it was a bit of a messy bum. But then in between those poops, they've been okay. So I'm hoping that the vet will be able to shed some light on it. But I have the horrible feeling, because he's booked in for Thursday, I have the horrible feeling that the vet is going to say, he's just older now, and that's just how it be. Hopefully there's something we can do to help. Because I think they're going to just say that he's maybe a little bit stiff and arthritic now. No, bunny tongues are really soft. They're so soft. They're just like soft and warm. They're very lovely. Does the vet know he's only 2 though? I think there's a problem on their records. Because they keep on referring to them as older bunnies, and that's wrong. But yeah. My poor little baby. I think yeah, it is just that he's getting like a little bit older because it's not ooh. uh it's just like he's not able to reach around as easily to get the secatropes, which is like I think that's the problem, is that his poos are actually fine. It's just that he's like not eating them because he's oh no, that's just banana crumbs. He's not able to like reach around as well to get to it. Bless he. Oh, no, Fifi, there's nothing on there. Fifi, 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 Fifi. It's not any more banana. It's just the smell of banana. I cannot let you eat it. I'm sorry, Fifi. I'll get you your joint tablet. I thought she was going to run out in front of my feet. There she goes. Oi! You can have this. Oh, there you go. Oh, baby boy and baby girl. Boom, 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 boom. Baby. Oh, he crunching. So today is I'll be doing a double whammy on the Yogscast channel this afternoon. I'll be doing Fighting Fantasy with Kirsty and Rydian 2 till 5, and then from 5 till 8 I'll be doing that modded Skyrim. I was gonna say Stardew for a second. I was like, wait, no, the other one. And I don't really know how it works, but I'll be doing that with Ped. 5 till 8. Not 8 o'clock, which is what I put on my schedule, but that's because I was thinking about the time that I leave the office rather than the time it actually starts. Leave yourself time to grab an ooey. I've still not tried their new menu. The new Korean barbecue menu from Ooey. Because I meant to get it on my birthday. Because I was like, I'll just do karaoke and then I will head off and get Ooey afterwards. But instead, I stayed and drank tequila, and then Alex had to order the only thing that was open at the time, which was popcorns. At the time that we left. Will you continue Stardew at some point? Yes. So, not this week, but wait, is it next week? Or do we have... No, it must be the week after next week. When the... Sorry, Fifi's just attacking me. When the... when the update is out, Fifi... we will be starting... Yeah, I think it's the... Is it the 19th? Friday the 19th that we do... Oh, no. 19th is the update, so it'll be after that. Whatever the Friday is after the update, we will be starting... we'll be starting Stardew again, just to get the most of it. So yeah. When that break the mods? Well, we're hoping that because the update comes out on a Tuesday, and we won't be playing till the Friday, so we've got like a few days to test it and see which mods work and blah blah blah. Because I think a lot of them that are kept up to date are like they do tend to update quite quickly if there's this sort of thing. So fingers crossed they the mods do their thing, but we can have a chance to like test it and stuff before. Yes. I'm so excited for Comfort Zone next week. I'm so excited to share it with everyone. I'm also dreading it, and I'm also very nervous, but I'm also very excited. Rob's already heard it. Rob got a sneak peek. because I've sneakily, without his knowledge, hired Rob as the comfort zone clip man who Rob is the guest and heard it live. No, I said to Rob, if I send you episodes early, can you just listen through them and tell me which bits you think would make good clips, because I don't want to listen through myself for an hour. And he very kindly did do it. Think I'll play 1.6 vanilla. I'm tired of breaking my game with mods. That's fair dues. We can raid chillin', yeah. That is fine. When do I get my Gerry Pets payment? If you want them, come and claim them. Can you send me your streams? Yeah, I'll do like a run through, a little rehearsal stream before I do the real ones. Workshop it. See which jokes land. Well, I guess it is time for me to head off now. I'm gonna go and have some peanut porridge. Gerry's about to have another toffee, I can tell. So yeah, let's do the raid. Do the raid before, just in case he's had another bad poop and you see everything and it goes everywhere. It's good so far. Good so far. Raiden Big Minute, nice. Well, everyone, I hope you all have very lovely days. How you doing down there, Gerry? Was it okay? How's your bum? How's your little bum doing? Acceptable? Good. I'll see you on Yogscast later for Fighting Fantasy and Skyrim. Thank you for being so understanding about having the day off yesterday. That was very kind of you all. And yeah, I will speak to you all soon. Look after yourselves. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. You can just enjoy the potato until the raid goes. Little potato. Just a little guy. Also, I think there's a main channel video of me coming out today or tomorrow. I can't remember, but that's exciting too. That's the thing I couldn't tell you about the other day. If it comes out today or tomorrow. Ta-da! That is the brand deal I couldn't tell you about. Whatever comes out next. Anyway, thank you everyone. Bye. Any words, Gerry? Any motivational speeches to do? Oh, just hugs you at the baby. Let's have a nap, Gerry boy. Nice. Thank you, Ravin. Thank you, cow. Bye-bye.